Ready.
I want all of you to think about your daily routine getting to work every day. What do you get ready for work before you leave that front door? For myself, I collect a variety of items. My wallet, my watch, my high school class ring, my cell phone, keys. I always bring 2 sets of keys with me every single day to the country. Count them 2. Now, as quirky as you may think that is, and some of you may even wince at that, I do most of that without even thinking about it. And I get to work on time without incident. Now imagine if your morning rituals prevented you from getting to work on time, all the time. Do you feel the need to check things over and over? Do you have the same thoughts constantly? Do you feel a very strong need to perform certain rituals repeatedly and feel like you have no control over what you are doing? Perhaps this isn't you, but you may know someone who goes through this exact same routine on a daily basis. This is the life of someone with OCD, or Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Now you may be wondering, how is OCD defined? According to the National Institute of Mental Health, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder is an anxiety disorder, and it is characterized by unreasonable thoughts and fears, obsessions, that leads you to do repetitive behaviors, which are the compulsions. With Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, you may realize that your obsessions are not reasonable, and you may try to ignore them or stop them, but that only increases the distress and anxiety. A fascinating development about OCD is its invasion into our pop culture. It's become a part of our American vernacular. I've lost count of how many people, random people I come across say, "Oh, I'm a little OCD. Oh, that's so OCD of you." It's become in vogue for people to self-diagnose. A lot of times, obsessive compulsive disorder is misrepresented, and it's never really illustrating the inner conflict, the struggle that people have when they're dealing with it. According to author Patrick B. McGrath, they, the A being those with OCD, they know what they are doing is illogical. They just feel helpless to do anything about it. Now, there are some excellent and accurate examples of OCD in mass media. Show of hands, has anyone ever seen the movie The Aviator? Okay. It was a biopic based on multimillionaire Howard Hughes, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, Howard Hughes, he was a fascinating character. He was consumed by the minor details of things. He was very meticulous. He would sort his peas out by size before he would eat them. He also had an air filtration system in his car because he was so afraid to breathe unclean air. Another movie, As Good as It Gets. Who's seen that? Okay, starring Jack Nicholson, a man with OCD. It illustrated his inner struggle, but it also outlined the struggle that others had to deal with when dealing with someone with obsessive compulsive disorder. Howie Mandel, comedian, host of the TV show Deal or No Deal. Anyone ever seen an episode of that? If you notice, he never shakes hands with contestants. He only bumps fists, so he doesn't have to deal with the obsession about his hands being dirty. Now, there are some clear signs and symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder. According to author Bruce Hyman, people with OCD are generally accustomed to arranging things in a certain order and getting angry or anxious if that order is disturbed. Excessive checking of household items such as doors, windows, locks, lights, and etc. an excessive fear of harm coming to oneself or others, having a reasonable fear of doing wrong, having a perfectionist sense of fear, a fear of doing wrong, having severe anxiety if usual routines are disrupted, excessive collecting, sometimes of seemingly useless items, a phenomenon some of you may know as hoarding. Some of you may know some folks like that. Now, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, those with OCD can't control the unwanted thoughts and behaviors. They don't get pleasure when performing the behaviors or rituals, but they do get a momentary reprieve or relief from the anxiety that thoughts cause. Those with OCD spend at least a minimum of an hour a day on the thoughts and rituals which cause distress and get in the way of daily life. Now, there is a process for OCD diagnosis and treatment. You just can't announce to the world, "Hi, I have obsessive compulsive disorder." There's a process. There's a battery of tests. You have to talk to a licensed professional about something like that. According to the Mayo Clinic, the main two treatments for obsessive compulsive disorder are psychotherapy and medication. One type of psychotherapy is called cognitive behavior therapy. And it's especially useful for teaching a person to find different ways of thinking, behaving, and especially, more important, reacting to situations that help him or her feel less fearful without having obsessive thoughts or acting compulsively. Most commonly prescribed medications for obsessive compulsive disorder are Zoloft and Prozac. In summation, what's routine or normal for us may be outright debilitating or outright paralyzing, figuratively speaking, for someone with obsessive compulsive disorder. Their world is one of shame, continuous doubt, and gravitation to worst case scenarios. But not all is lost. There is hope. With the right combination of treatment and support, those with obsessive compulsive disorder can overcome the great anxiety. Thank you.